The ISO 9001 is the gold standard when it comes to quality management system. That's why in this video I will explain to you what the ISO 9001 is, explain the structure and the content in less than 8 minutes so that you can get a comprehensive overview in case you want to go for certification. As nothing in life, even also the 9001 is not perfect. So stay with me until the end, where I will share with you the must-knows and failures to avoid if you want to go for ISO 9001 certification. The ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, was founded in 1947. It has more than 160 member states and is publishing standards in different industries and sectors. In this list you can see the most relevant standards from the ISO listed by the amount of existing certifications. And you can see that the ISO 9001 is by far the most relevant standard, with more than 1 million organizations certified currently. Then there are also other standards like the ISO 14001 or the ISO 45001, which is the system for environmental management or occupational health and safety. That means how to be more eco-friendly and also how to make the company a safer workplace. When we talk about quality management systems, it might help to know what quality really is. And quality in the context of the ISO 9001 means meeting the requirements. Which requirements? Customer requirements and legal requirements. Why meeting the customer requirements? Because if a company is not meeting the customer requirements, it's a problem for the customer, but also for our organization, because then the customer will not buy again, and that's not good for business. On the other hand, if we are not meeting the legal requirements, then we might get in trouble and our customer as well, and that means that it's also not good for business. So the best is we are meeting the customer requirement and the legal requirements, and in this way that's good for our business. Our customers will buy more, we can improve our profits, and by continuously improving ourselves, saving cost and also being more competitive. This is what a quality management system is. It ensures that you are always meeting the customer and the legal requirements in all your business process and your business activities, so that you can reap the full benefits and grow your company stably, get better and better. The ISO 9001 focuses on 5 elements: leadership, context of the organization, planning and support, operation, and evaluation and improvement. Let's look at all of them one by one. Leadership is in the middle because they are key of implementing the quality management system. They get everybody going. They are responsible because the decision to establish a quality management system is a strategic leadership decision. So the leaders are the ones that make everything happen. They established a so-called quality policy, where the leadership expresses their understanding of quality, how to achieve it, and then share it with the organization. This is important because in this way, every member of the organization can consider this direction as a guidance when they are taking decisions in their daily job. They set up targets and provide the resources that are necessary to build up and run the quality management system. They also review the results, take action to improve, and very importantly, promote the importance of the quality management system with all the employees to foster the awareness and make everybody known about what is needed. Because what is a quality management system that nobody knows about? This reminds me of the question of a Japanese Buddhist Zen master to one of his monks. What is the sound of a tree falling in the woods when there's nobody to hear it? If you know the answer, write it in the comments. Let's look at the next element, which is the context of the organization. Why is this important? The organization is working in a certain environment. That means they work in a certain country under certain legal regulations. They work in a certain industry with a certain market dynamic and competitor. So that means if we don't understand the environment in which we are in, we are probably bumping into a lot of problems over time. So it's very important for a company to understand from the beginning the environment and understand the risks and opportunities that it can exploit and that which is needs to avoid in this kind of environment. And this is what the analysis of the context is about. On the other hand, it's also about understanding all your stakeholders. They call it the interested parties. That means everybody who is somehow linked or working together or affected by your organization. And these could be, for example, your investors, the society, the neighbors, the employees, the government, the suppliers, or the customers and the banks. All of those have an interest in the company, and for the company, those stakeholders are very important, and we can think about them like the pillars of a bridge. And over this bridge, we run our business. And if one of those pillars is not stable and not strong enough, then it might collapse and affect our business. In the next element of planning and support, the organization first of all sets the targets. That means, what do you want to achieve and how do you want to achieve it? And after setting the targets, you also give and decide the resources that you need in order to make it happen. That means, for example, the right amount of people with the right qualification and with the right amount of tools, budget, money, maybe computers, software, an office space, whatever you need in order to achieve this. The next step is the operations. That means here you run your business process where you add value to the customer. It could be a production process where you produce something, or a service process where you deliver a service to the customer. Here it's important that all of your employees are probably trained, that everybody knows what to do and how to do it, and that you monitor all the inputs and the outputs of your process, that they meet customer and legal requirements, and that if you detect a deviation, that you immediately act on it and improve in order to protect your customer. And in the last element, you evaluate and you improve. And here it requires that you measure the performance of your processes and also the satisfaction of your customer. And wherever you find a deviation from your targets, it's required that you analyze the root causes and that you immediately improve. This also includes an internal audit process where you organize internal audits, and then based on the results, you take action to improve the quality management system. A ritual here, or a very important document, is the management review. This is a regular leadership meeting where the leadership team comes together to review the performance of the quality management system, all the KPIs and the deviations, and together decide on the next steps for continuous improvement. So how can you get certified in ISO 9001? First of all, I recommend to you that you find a competent and reliable partner that helps you along all the steps with the ISO 9001 qualification or preparation. You can also try to do it alone, but if you miss something important in the preparation, you might regret it later when you go for certification audit and fail. And this can cost you valuable time and also your money. The first step is then that you prepare and develop the management systems. Define all the procedures, document everything, make the planning, analyze the context of the organization. Then in the second step, implement your system and run it for 12 months. Run it according to the procedures, make sure that everybody is well trained, that everybody understands what to do, and then also run the internal audits so that you can check that everything is on track and take the improvement actions. And after 12 months, when you think that you are ready, schedule the certification audit with the relevant certification body in your area, and then pass the audit and you will get certified. So we have talked about what the ISO is and how it can help us to meet customer requirements and by this become a more stable and more successful organization. So the question could be, is this now the winning recipe for all organizations or not? And as everything in life, also the ISO 9001 is not perfect and not flawless and not the perfect recipe for everyone. It depends. It depends on where you are at with your organization and what your motivation is. If your motivation is, for example, just to get a piece of paper to show it to the customer because it's in one of their contractual requirements that you need to have an ISO 9001 certificate, then maybe you might achieve it, but your results for the company will be very superficial and you will not embark maybe on this long-term journey of continuous improvement and gaining of competence and competitiveness. On the other hand, also for smaller organizations, it might not be always the right choice because especially it comes with a certain amount of cost. You have to pay the auditors, you have to pay people in the organization to do the effort, document all the processes, work in a certain way, which may be for small organizations too bureaucratic because everything has to be documented and registered in a certain way so that you can later give evidence to yourself, but also to the auditors that come to you and certify you in the end. So all in all, you must consider if it makes sense for your organization, if it has a certain size, if it has the capacity to establish and maintain the quality management system so that you can reap the full benefit, that all the leaders are fully committed to drive this organization to success. And then the ISO 9001 can be a very powerful tool for business transformation. If you are interested in more videos like this, check out also my other videos on the ISO 14001 environmental management system or the ISO 45001 about occupational health and safety.